All right, we're going to look at how to warp audio in Ableton so that you can make a loop out of samples, sampling old songs, chop them up, etc. So I have included the steps on the class website right here. There's also a link to a document as well as this tutorial video you're watching. So we're going to start with going to Ableton and picking a song that we want to make a loop out of and time align to our grid in Ableton. And I was looking in this resource folder. We have a folder that says songs to sample. And I found this song that I really like called What You Don't Want to Be Me. And so I'm going to drag that into Ableton, and here's what it sounds like. Okay, so I think I'm just going to take basically what you heard and use that as a loop for this song. So I need to get my tempo and this song's tempo to match up so that it's on the grid. So we're going to start following our steps to warp document here. So the step one is to find the first one in the section of the song you want to loop and add a warp marker here. That's going to be easy for us because this song, well, we have to turn the warp on if not already and switch this to complex since we are working with a complex piece of audio here, a full sound. And then we need to find the first one. So our first one is the very first beat of the song because I want to sample that first couple bars. So I'm going to place a warp marker here on the very first one. You can see that it made this warp marker location here. I think I might scoot it back just a little bit so that it gets this full kick drum here. All right, let's look at step 2. Right click on the first warp marker and set it to 111. All right, back to Ableton. So I double clicked to make this warp marker right at the very first kick drum. Now I'm going to right click and select set 111 here. And there we go. It brings bar 1 straight up to that kick drum. Next, find the second one in the song and add a warp marker there. So this is where we start counting to find the one of the next bar. So here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. So it was this one right here. Let's see if you can count that with me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Yep, so I can see that it's right here. All right, next step. We are on step 3. Move the warp marker you just added to the beginning of the second bar. Okay, so here's the warp marker. Here's the beginning of bar 2. So I'm just going to drag this all the way back to here and move on to step 3. Note the segment BPM at the second warp marker and change the project tempo to match this BPM. Okay, so this one you have to know where to look. The segment BPM is going to be this right here. Okay, so I'm going to click on the second warp marker. If I click on the first one, it's going to show a different BPM. So that's why the instructions say click on the second warp marker and figure out what the BPM. So we're going to say 84. Okay, so our speed is 84 and change the project tempo to match this BPM. Okay, so I see that 84 is right here at my second warp marker. So I'm going to come up here to my project tempo and change this to 84. Right, and we're ready to move on to the next step. Step 6, right click on the second warp marker and select warp. So we're going to warp, what was our 84 BPM from here. So right click on the second warp marker. There's that second warp marker, right click, warp 84 BPM from here. And it's going to change the rest of the song to 84 beats per minute. Add warp markers at successive ones by ear and eye and move them into appropriate place on the grid. So this is where we have to go back and just double check what Ableton did to make sure that it did it all correctly. So here, let's listen to it and count. 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. So there's another one right here, and we can see that it is a little bit early, so I'm just going to scooch that over. Here we go again. 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 3, 4, 4, 2, 3, 4, 1. Okay, so this one is that fourth, the one of the fourth bar, and this is the one of the fifth bar. So this is actually where we want it to stop. and loop back again. So I'm going to come up here and I just did the first 4 bars of the track. That's what I'm going to make my loop out of. So I'm going to come up to my audio clip over here, take the first 4 bars, split this, and then delete this second half of the song. Don't need it. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Repeat. All right, the loop sounds pretty good. So what I'm going to do now is actually turn this audio clip into a loop by turning on the loop button right here. And the length of our loop is only 4 bars long, so I'm going to hit that enter. Position is 1. We've got a 4-bar loop that we can then extend out, and let's see how it sounds all laid out and looped. All right, here comes the loop. That's clean. And that's how you can loop or warp the audio to be on the beat with Ableton and then turn it into a loop.